Yo, thank you for continuing to support the movement. Another great topic we're going to talk about. Just keep your minds open and just, leave a comment below and continue to click subscribe on the bottom and leave a comment below. Big Zo Podcast, we everywhere, every social media platform. And again, Miss on me, holla at your boys. Let's go.
Yo, Miz on me, Miz on me, Miz on me. Welcome to the Big Zo podcast. I go by the name of Berto.
Two boy beats on the beat.
And this Wadney.
Yo, man. So we starting off the new year on the right note, 2021. How you guys been, man? What's going on with you guys?
Hey, same old thing for me, man. Just chilling, man, making beats, just locking in.
Same shit as last year. Same shit as 2020. 2021 ain't no different so far.
You guys did vote for Biden, so what do you expect?
Shit. Voting for him because I didn't want to vote for the other races.
Hey, man. Since we're talking about racism and racist, yeah, man. So I wanted to do the podcast. This is the first time we're doing this. Hopefully, it's not the only time. So what we basically doing is we're just gonna call it like a movie review / reaction. So this is a movie that came out this weekend. I don't know if any guys see. I mean, I know you guys seen it because that's the reason why we're doing the topic. But hopefully people that's watching it or listening seen this movie. This movie is called American Skin. People that don't know about American Skin is basically a Nate Parker movie. Nate Parker in Spike Lee movie. I thought it was a great movie. It made sense about different things that's happening, especially today in this world, or especially like last year, 2020. And the movie is basically, if whoever haven't seen it, I'm just giving a little, like a minute statement about this movie. It's about a father who got stopped by the police. His son was in the car, and when he got stopped by the police asked him to get out of the car. Then I guess his son was recording it. Then one of the police shot his son. So that's what the movie is basically about. Um, just to not go like all the way to details about the movie, but I thought it was a great movie. So what do you guys think about the movie? How could it relate, especially with today, 2021, especially what we did with last year, 2022? What you guys think about the movie?
I
I
think it was a
think it
great
was
movie, truth be told. Like they touched down on so many different bases, you feel me? It's not just the black person or black man's perspective that you're getting throughout the movie. You feel me? You're getting the family member's perspective. The police chief in the movie is a black officer. You're getting his perspective also. And then you're also getting the lower ranked officer's perspective. You're basically getting like the point of view of everybody in the movie, you feel me? So you're not just seeing it from one perspective.
yeah, the movie was great, man. I think everybody should see that movie. It gives a great reality check. Like this shit can really happen to someone in life. You know what I mean? And to see the perspective and the thought process, especially like I don't want to tell too much about the movie, but when the cop was explaining to about that's how they trained, like he was trained to do certain stuff, and it's like it just give insight just from a different point of view. So I think everybody should watch it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give a lot about the movie because I think whoever's
Yeah, we're
watching it,
definitely just gonna have to spoil it because this is how we like get into deep conversation
yeah,
about the ins
yeah,
and outs of the movie. So we're definitely gonna have to spoil it. Spoiler warning, by the way.
especially that makes sense because um like you said something like it's basically the cop was basically explaining how he was trained. What I got from this movie, they were pretty much making every excuse why they shot the innocent black kid. They was making every excuse in the book why they shot the innocent black kid. And it's crazy.
Hold on. Give us give the audience three examples of
One,
the
about the excuse they were making.
yeah, give them like three examples of the excuses because they're all bullshit excuses.
Okay, first of all, they were saying he was saying, okay, if the dad would have had the dad had an expired registration, no insurance form, which the dad said he didn't have expired registration form. He said the other registration form was ID. It was in the glove department. That's number one. So they try to blame the justify of killing the black dude because if the dad had the correct information, they would have let them the dad and his son go, and they would have been alive. That does not make sense. And I guess number two, they said
The speeding.
the dad was speeding, in which he wasn't speeding because at the end, when they in that little city hall, the dad basically saying, "How was I speeding? Did you know there was a speed book coming up? So that means I wasn't speeding. And plus, if I was speeding, you would not know there was two black people in that car. You know what I'm saying? And number three, he basically said, because the car that the dad was driving, he was driving like a bucket or a beat up car in a good neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So if the dad wasn't driving that kind of car in that neighborhood, we would not stop him. You know,
And mind
so
you, the dad was there to pick up the son from a friend's
a friend's
house.
house. And so I just think they made every excuse in the book why the officers was justified killing the black kid. And I remember when the officer said at the end, it's a cost. That's the cost they people pay. Well, I should say black people pay because you have people that if they see black people not doing anything or walking around, they will call the cops on black people because they look suspicious in the wrong neighborhood. You don't know why the person's in that neighborhood. Hey, that person might have an auntie in that neighborhood. That person might live in that neighborhood. That person might be visiting a friend in that neighborhood. So I just think that movie it relates to what's going on in the world. I mean, me just being a black person, I mean, we've been dealing with this is not new to us. You know what I'm saying? We've been dealing with this. I think this is a great movie. They should show this movie to every police academy training school, every students at a middle school and high school, and just I think the world should watch this movie because this was a great movie. I think Nate Parker and Spike Lee did a great job with details. Because he explained it to both. He explained it 3 point of views. He explained it the black family point of view, which is the black man, black woman point of view. He explained it the police officer point of view, and he explained it to the white people point of view. And it's crazy. So every point of view has a different response or different reaction to the shooting.
One
Hey,
thing. Go ahead, Beast.
I was gonna say, I don't watch TV that much, but was this movie advertised? Like,
Okay, so what happened was a lot of people. If y'all don't know Nate Parker's work, he did Birth of a Nation. If you guys haven't seen Birth of a Nation, the ones that have seen
great
Birth of a
movie,
Nation,
great
it was a
movie.
great movie. But Birth of a Nation is basically more of the story is like it was the story of Nat Turner. Basically, the rise of saying we're not going to be under slavery anymore. We're going to take the power under our hand. So they end up killing a whole bunch of white people. So when he did that movie, he got a lot of criticism about that movie. A lot of black people was like, "Nah, you can't do that movie." Then he got blackball by the whole Hollywood industry. So what happened was American Skin. A lot of people don't know it was shot in 2017. He played a movie, I think, in 2018 or 19 at the movie festival. I think it was in LA. He got like they said after that movie, everyone stood up and give him a round of applause because it was such a great movie. But a problem was he had problems putting the movie out. Like I said, because of what he did for Birth of the Nation, he was getting so much criticism. He got a lot of trouble and backlash for putting for Birth of the Nation. So it was hard for him to put the movie American Skin out. So what happened was, I guess after the George Floyd, Spike Lee was like, "Hey man," I guess Spike Lee was like, I had enough of this. When you're gonna put the movie out, Spike, he told Spike Lee his situation. I couldn't put this movie out. No outlet's gonna give me the option to put this movie out in theaters. So what happened? Spike Lee's like, "Man, look, put this movie under my name, and we're gonna put it out, even if we got to do it digital, meaning where you could just purchase it online. You can watch it from from your home. People got to see this movie. So when you see it, when the movie started, it says produced and written by Nate Parker, but it says Spike Lee presents this movie. And that's why, because Spike Lee was like, after the George Floyd, he was like, I had enough of this. This movie need to be out. People need to see this movie. So that's how the whole marketing went for this movie. And if you notice, like he only did like this movie came out, I think this weekend or I mean last weekend. So he did marketing in like Breakfast Club. I know Hot 97, and because a lot of places they did not even want him to do marketing for this movie. But it is what it is. But I'm glad this movie
Hey,
eventually
I'll tell
came
you
out.
right then and there, that whole little soliloquy that you just gave out, that highlights right then and there the media and the societal bias for in favor of the police in America. But like, they're so in favor of the police. Anything bashing or calling them out, they were so fucking against it. It took somebody, it took a knee on George Floyd's neck in order for them to kind of, you feel me, kind of see what's going on. But still to this day, they're not really 100% fully on board to like holding police officers accountable. For example, look at this. You remember in the movie, right? In the movie, there was like a little trial, right? So he had the inmates. It was a little trial. They was having conversations with the police officer, and the police officer actually fucking admitted to why he stopped him and his son in that neighborhood. He said, "You guys weren't speeding. We saw two black guys in a car at midnight. That's extremely suspicious. We're trying to keep the neighborhood safe. We see two black guys in the car. Yeah, we had to stop them. We had to make sure that they weren't committing any crimes." So he admitted to this, right? Four of the jurors were white. Four of the jurors were white, right? After they went inside that little room to deliberate and see and vote on who's guilty, whether he's guilty or not, the four white fucking jurors still voted him not guilty, even though he admitted to this shit. And they tried so hard to find their justification for them voting him not guilty, but they could not find one. But yet they still voted him not guilty. That shows you how bad white America refuses to see, look at themselves in the mirror and see the faults in their police department and other facets of society. It's fucking disgusting, fam.
And it's one of those things. Look, we're not saying there's bad. Every cop is bad. There's good cops out there, but the problem is the problem with the good cops is they allow these bad cops to do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that this movie showed. Like you seen the police chief or the captain, whatever he was, a black guy. You know, when one of the officers said, "I can't be racist," because we got a black police chief or black captain. We can't be racist. It's just like when Obama was president. You have people was like, "Oh, we're not racist because Obama was president." Like, what the heck? What kind of shit is this? But it lets you know. Look, even the black cop, the black police chief he put his head down because he was disgusted of what was going on. And people think like, oh, because you have like a black police chief, or black president, that racism does not exist. But that's way not true. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And,
but brother, I think he got the chance to see that because remember before another spoiler alert when shit was going bad when they found out that the officer was getting charged. Who did they bring? They brought the black chief to go talk to the
the
mother,
family, yes.
so she could talk to the press. So it was also showing the systematic failures and shit like that. He only changed up and wised up once Buddy did what he did at the city hall.
And you got to think about it. And that's the thing that what they do. And when I mean what they do, they first of all, they do two things or three things. Number one, when they kill like a black man or a black kid, they always go to the mother because they're like, okay, if the mother could forgive, the police officers, so why can't everybody else forgive the police officer? Like, what do they do with the mother? Oh, do not destroy the city, do not start violence, do not, start rioting, go home, this and that. And number two, usually when they kill black men, they find out they try to say, well, he was in a gang, he was selling drugs, he was like part of some type of group that hate black people. You know what I'm saying? Why can't it always be like the truth? Why can't it always be like, damn, the police fucked up? Okay, we're human beings. Like we fucked up. I mean, obviously we don't fuck up like the way they fuck up, like as far as taking somebody's life, but they made mistakes. Why can't it? They always try to justify the reason why the police could kill a black man. They always try to justify, okay, this is why, this is why, this is why. But how come when you see
One
something on
thing,
camera, Why can't the camera tell you the truth?
One thing I want to say about that, and the police giving excuses for why they kill black people, the main reason they give is usually because they weren't in fear of their life. That is one thing. Like, I can't possibly see how that is a valid fucking excuse, right? Because people are always talking about being a police officer is hard, being a police officer is dangerous. Being a police officer is optional. That's what it is. It's optional. You could go out and find another job. I got plenty of former police officers that work at my current job now. Okay, so you don't have to take that job. You don't. If you're scared of somebody's skin tone, you definitely shouldn't be a police officer.
And I
Being
would
a
say,
police officer is not for the pussies of this country. If you're a pussy, I'll tell you this, bro. If you can't confront somebody without a gun, you definitely shouldn't confront somebody with a gun.
Hey, I mean, being a cop is one thing, but there's also systematic problems. For instance, when he said after he shot Buddy, the first thing he did was he went home, right? He got a chance to go home. Where in if you shoot someone, you have to stay on the scene. If not, it's kind of hit and run or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's systematic problems that happen in the police station or in the police force that they was pointing out.
yeah, that's a good point because I think in the scene he killed the kid, then he went home, and I think that's what the white lady was asking. That was one of the jury. She was like saying, "Hey, why did the cop leave?" And the black dude answered the question. The Muslim dude answered the brother. He was like, "Hey, he left because for him to go get his story right." Think about it. What you just said. If we hit someone in a car and we leave, you know what I'm saying? They could arrest us for hit and run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we leave and go back home or leave and go wherever we're going, they will arrest us with hit and run. They will put so much charges on our ass. But if a cop killed a black man, he is allowed to go home and just figure out, you know what I'm saying, get an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to think about, okay, what he's gonna tell the people to help him to help his case. And it's like, damn. And it's like you see the video, like I don't understand. The problem I have is like these cops wear video cameras and we try to justify, okay, what we see on camera, that can't be true. But it's like if a black man run to like a store and steal or, put a gun up on someone and rob them or kill them in a convenience store or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And they have it on camera. Oh, they arrested him. They're not going to wait and give him a chance, let him go home or 4 hours, 5 hours to think. They're going to arrest him on the scene. And they're going to look at the camera and be like, okay, he's guilty. You're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty. You know what I'm saying? But with these cops, it's like, for some reason, they just allow them to do whatever they want. And like I said, I'm not saying it's like all cops are like that. Because let's be real, I have I have one friend currently in the police academy. I have a few, I have like 3 or 4 friends that's cops, but they're not out here like doing reckless stuff. And and to be honest, I used to work at a place where we had to deal with a lot of cops, and even the white cops would be like, I don't know what the hell, like they would like these other white cops is doing like these major cities. I'm talking about the cities like when they're killing black people and it's on the news. Cause I had a conversation with white cops, older white cops, white young cops, and they even said, I don't understand why they killed a black kid. They would say this in front of my face, like I don't understand. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we have a lot of black cops and we have a lot of good white cops, but at the end of the day, they know like who's the bad cop. Like it's just like me and you, we used to play in sports. Like we know who's the guy you don't want to be around with. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know who's the guy that you don't want on your team. We know him, even though the coach doesn't know him, doesn't know the assistant coach or or the defensive coach. Like us as players, because we on the field or we on the basketball court, we on the football field. We know who you wouldn't want to be on your team. So how the hell these cops don't know?
Well, that's the thing, though.
Good cop or bad cop?
Well, one thing I'll say, the good cops know who the bad cops are, right? They know exactly who they are. But look at the police chief in the movie. After all this blasphemy, all this shit that they were saying in the movie, the lower-ranking police officers who are white, they're white and Spanish, they kept saying it was black people's fault for everything that gets done to them. Well, it's because you guys are gangsters. It's because of the way you guys dress, because of the way you guys act. You feel me? throwing the whole umbrella term over the entirety of the black race, stereotyping them like a motherfucker. And what was the black police chief doing? Just sitting there, not saying nothing. And that's usually what good cops do. They know who the bad cops are, but they're not going to check them. They're not going to say a goddamn thing to these racists, to these bad cops. They're just going to let them keep on and do what they do.
And that's because the bad outweigh the good. And that's just the truth. I mean, the fruit that has been bared or born from all the police officers and all the murders and killings and everything, that's the fruit that they're showing. The police and anything that's blue, white, red, anything that's associated with it, it has been shown that the majority of them are bad, because if you look at the outcomes, if you look at the reason that Black Lives Matter even exists, it's because of that. And the reason that the good cops don't fight is because the bad outweigh the good. And they can't even speak up, because if they do, they get trumped over.
And I think that's good.
In the movie also, well, let me say this one point. In the movie also, there was a Afro-Latina police officer, right? Female Afro-Latina police officer, right? And there was a male Spanish officer, right? As he was going on babbling and ranting, he was called an Uncle Tom by another Spanish juror, right? And and the police officer was like, "What the hell? The hell's wrong with you? You're just another gangster officer. You're making us Spanish people look bad." And then you had the Spanish female police officer that was standing behind them. She was like, "What the hell are you saying, bro? We have been marginalized too. Why are you saying stuff like this?" And this Spanish police officer, what he do? He turned around and called her out, saying, "What the hell's wrong with you? Why would you even say some shit like that? I thought you were on our team." So that shows you.
And she said not to cut you off. Oh, she said, yeah, I'm on y'all team first. I'm on y'all team. I'm a police. I back the blue. But she said I'm a Spanish woman first. That's what she told the cop.
Exactly. Yep.
I think y'all make a great point, but to me, the best point was him recording that process. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got the opportunity to record that process, because at the end, we seen that it had to become a documentary. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, people got to see. Because to me, the Spanish cop was still kind of racist, even after the whole ordeal. You know what I'm saying? The black cop really didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he felt sympathy. He felt sympathy, like he was sympathetic of the situation.
He felt embarrassed and ashamed.
Like, right. It's not like he stood on something, you know what I'm saying? And so that happened in between. That happened
It was
inside.
like he didn't know who to represent.
Right. So it's like him recording that process, it got a chance for everybody to see different points of views and stuff like that. And that's why he said, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you one time and keep recording."
And I think one thing that we gotta pay attention to, the reason why I say this was a great movie, because they showed a white young girl's point of view, how she see the world and how she see the cops, and they show a black kid, a young 21-year-old black kid. He was doing a documentary because he couldn't believe that racism exists in the police department. And this is a kid that grew up in a nice neighborhood. You know, both parents are educated. They kept them in a bubble. So, and they just show you, okay, because they could have said, okay, a white young man having the same mindset as a kid, but there's black people that really grew up in good neighborhoods and that been sheltered all their life. They don't believe like racism exists. Like for example, not to go on topic, like just to show All American, when you have the kid from Beverly Hill, the black kid from Beverly Hill, and the black kid from Crenshaw. You know what I'm saying? Both of them get stopped by the police together. The black kid from Crenshaw's like, bro, just don't like do what they say. Put your hands up. Don't move this and that. The black kid from Beverly Hill, they call him Carton. He basically was like, oh, we have our rights. We have this. We have that. At the end of the day, then he gets slammed by the cops and stuff. At the end of the day, he realized at the end of the day, it don't matter what neighborhood you're born or you're raised in, how much money your parents have. At the end of the day, you know what they both have in common? They both are N-words. And that's what they are. So I love the way the movie show it, like the 2 point of view.
They ain't no N words, bro. That's what they're called, but they're not N words. They're young kings.
But you know what I mean. Like you're still gonna get treated like N words. Like at the end of the day, it
Yeah.
don't matter what tax bracket you're in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about the movie. They show their point of view. Even with the girl, the white girl point of view, she was asking questions because it's like she had the shock like look. But the problem is like this is if you look at the whole George Floyd situation, it was y'all generation that was like protesting the most, like the young people, because if you think about it, the young people basically are in class with what a lot of black students, a lot of Spanish students. So they're like, damn, I don't see like their racism like that. They're my friends, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what the girl was looking at, the young girl at the movie. She was like, damn, like why did the officer get to go home? I don't understand that. Why is this? Why is that? And they was breaking it down.
Yeah, man. All in all, I think everybody should go watch that movie. Go ahead out there and support and just watch that movie and just have an open mind.
Yeah, I think the movie, like everyone should go out watch the movie. If you one of those people who's like, well, I'm not watching movies black. First of all, it has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. That's number one. And if you understand the whole movement of the Black Lives Matter, why they were created, and if you don't understand why they were created, that lets you know you're not willing to open your eyes and open your mind. Have an open mind when you watch this movie. Don't just say, okay, oh, I'm not gonna watch this movie because this is an education movie. I don't understand why this movie should be shown in every high school. And I don't want to say elementary, but I want to say middle school because the kids are old enough to understand in middle school. But every high school they should show this movie. Every police academy they should show this movie because even like prejudice, like we all of us are prejudiced in a way. You know what I'm saying? You know, I remember Law and Order did an episode earlier this year, the first episode, when they had Olivia Benson. You know, and I love Law and Order, and you know she has a lot of black friends. She worked with black cops, and at the end of the episode, she had it asked herself, was she prejudiced? Like, does she have some type of belief towards black person? Like everyone is prejudiced. So I think like this is a great movie, great storyline. I give it an A+. I thought Nate Parker did his he did wonderful in this movie, man. And it's basically
Hey,
like
one thing I want to say, I feel like we didn't touch on it, is that in the movie, right? He says, "Why are black people the only group of people expected not to react with violence?" If you
yeah,
look at the white community, they're the first motherfuckers to react with violence.
violence. And it's just like
And hold on, let me finish. And at the end of the movie, he ends up taking a non-violent approach and gets shot in the head for it. My thing is like, my question is, do you feel like we're too passive and non-violent, or do you think the Martin Luther, do you think the Martin Luther King way is better, or the Malcolm X way is better?
Hey,
but I think the better
I ain't
question
gonna
is
lie. No.
do you think the Martin Luther King way is better or the Nat Turner way is better?
Not even that. Do you guys agree that we should go back to segregation, like being separate? Like think about it. Have our own black media, have our own black banks, have our own black jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like think even before Martin Luther King, like we had trades and skills and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And you know what I'm saying? So we had the equity and stuff to support a Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? It was after Martin Luther King they fucked us up. And that's when drugs and shit came in and
Yeah.
fucked us up. That's what we are here today. But I think segregation, like, we should go back.
I think
feel
that
like
not to get into it, but I think
like
that's a different topic for another day. I think that's like a part two, like discussion we should talk about. I think we should just that's a great point. I just feel like that's another discussion for another podcast.
Yeah, you're right.
y'all niggas ain't even answer the question, bro. Martin Luther King or Malcolm X?
I mean,
Listen, the Martin Luther King way is like trying to be peace, like
Yeah.
trying to bring everybody together. But Malcolm X is like, man, like,
But I mean,
bro.
you can use both methods together to reach an overall peaceful, safe, and
Can
black
you
people
really
still
though?
thriving way. Because honestly, sorry to keep this topic going, but honestly, the way that Malcolm X did it, everybody knows him just to be like this violent activist, and that's not necessarily true. His goal was to make sure that the Black community was thriving just as much as any other community. Because no one was willing to invest into the Black community, we had to invest into ourselves. And even today, that's something that we don't do enough. Like for this movie, I advise everybody to actually buy or rent it, invest into it. But aside from that, what I'm saying is we built our own individual communities. We taught our own children. We showed ourselves discipline, health, everything. And everything that pretty much America got was created by Black people. The reason America exists is because of Black people. So I understand what you're saying when you say, do you think segregation would be easier? Hell yeah, I think segregation would be easier. Now, I don't know if it would be better necessarily, but it would be more peaceful. It would be easier not to feel like you're fighting for your life, always in competition to get into a higher role, always.
I don't mean to cut you off, but what about Chinese people? Are they doing the Martin Luther King way, or are they doing
They definitely doing Malcolm X. They have built their own communities and business.
So the Mexicans, what are the Mexicans doing? Are they
same thing?
All right. So it seems like everybody else.
The Italian, the East Indians,
That's what I'm saying. It seems like everybody else. I don't want to go with like Berto said, it's a whole different topic for another day. But it don't seem like everybody else trying to do the Martin Luther King way. That I have a dream. And think about it, Martin Luther King. It always present that I have a dream speech. But if y'all look at the last speech that he wrote, bro, he was going back to that Malcolm X way.
Well, what? Not to get on topic, but the thing with Martin Luther King, when Martin Luther King first came out, a lot of people don't know they hated him. They're like, oh, he's too violent, he's too this and that. Then what happened? Malcolm X came out. They're like, oh shit, this nigga's worse than Martin Luther King. Like, okay. Let's work with Martin Luther King. Let's work with Malcolm X came out. It's like by any means necessary. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's just like that's just what it is. But not to go off a little topic. I think that's a good that might be a part 2 of this video. We could do another topic a conversation about this. But even going back to the movie a little bit, when they at one part that we need to be when we look at when they say, well, what about Black on Black crimes? So when they talk about Black on Black crimes, here's the thing that people in the media never want to put out. And if you could do the research, you could look it up. There's crimes on every neighborhood. So there's not Black on Black crimes. There's white on white crimes. There's Asian on Asian crimes. The crime exists where you live in. So where Black people live at, of course there's gonna be crime. Just like where white people live at, like in a trailer park, whatever, there's gonna be crimes on white people. And if you look at statistics, there's more white on white crimes than there are Black on Black crimes. But they never want to show that. And this is not my opinion. This is a fact. You can look it up. And I think that's one thing they showed it. They told in the movie and stuff. And I think the Muslim brother, he even pointed that out also.
Yo.
Man, but we're about to wrap this up, man. I think this is a great conversation. One thing I would say, like, look, there's a lot of good cops out here. Do I believe all cops are racist? No. Do I just like cops shouldn't believe all Black people are criminals? You know what I'm saying? There's good Black people, there's bad bad people. I just feel like we should be in a world in 2021 where we're still dealing with the same thing that I remember NWA put out, in the 80s, F the police. Because it was the same BS. The only difference now is like
the police.
The only difference now, the police is not the only difference that the police is not like killing us. I mean, they're not whooping our ass, they're whooping our ass and killing us. And the only difference is cameras. There's video cameras around, so we have the opportunity to see things through our eyes. And this, they say pictures is like worth 1,000 words, right? So we have a video. What is a video worth? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people always justify the reason why, cops could do this, cops could do that. Yeah, it's a dangerous job, but at the end of the day, you know what you was getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Joining the military is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? at the end of the day, man, I think this movie is a great movie. I give it an A+. I thought Nate Parker did everything right. I really don't have any negative things to say about this movie. Just say, hey, what could he do better? Because I feel like he did a great movie with the budget he had, and this movie told three different stories: the black man, or the slash the black family, the police officers, and the white people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
I
great
was actually
movie.
just about to touch on that too. Like before you called out, I was gonna say that I like the fact that the movie wasn't just from the black perspective, but he showed every perspective that possibly could be included into the reason why our society is the way it is. And all the real questions that we have, all the real explanations, like they all came out within that police station. And it's crazy to hear the discussion. So I really, oh my God, y'all, everybody needs to watch this movie. Everybody.
And I would say, man, before we wrap it up, support the movie. I know we could buy a bootleg, but just support the movie. Because if you look at it, his brother did two great projects for us. Who knows? The next project might be even bigger than the last two he did. I think we need to support the movie. Like you can rent it for $6.99 or you can buy it for $12.99. Look, we spend that much money on bottles. We spend that much money on going out to the club. We spend that much money on food that we should not even be eating. We should just like support the black man. He produced it. He wrote it, and that way, if we show like this movie could be like the #1 movie, maybe the next time they'll allow him to, or allow somebody else to put a great movie out without going through a lot of, backlash. But I'm finna wrap this up again. Any of you guys want to say one last word before we wrap it up?
All thing I want to say is fucking support the movie, bro. Don't bootleg the shit. Put some money in a black man's pocket, bro. I did. Shit, me and bro live in the same house. We still bought the movie separately.
True. Yeah, again, man, support the movie. And you guys do me a favor that's watching this. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. If you disagree with us and you said you watched the movie, you say, hey, the cops was justified. Look, we have no issues. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone, just leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Subscribe to this podcast if you like it. Share it. And I just think it's a conversation that we all should be talking about. In 2021, racism is not going away. 30, 40 years, 50 years from now, maybe racism will still not go away. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast. Thank you guys for joining us and letting us know. Big Zo Podcast. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, every social media platform. Let us know what you know. Leave a comment below. Holla at your boys. Big Zoes. We out. Peace.
Again, thank you guys for supporting the movement. Just do me a favor, click subscribe and leave a comment below. Just let us know what you guys think, man. Everybody opinion counts and everybody opinion matters. Just leave a comment below. Ms. Me, holla at your boys. Big Zo Podcast everywhere. Let's go.